All right, here we go. OverDrive off and running. TSN 1050 on the TSN app. Your home smart speaker up on TSN 4. Brian Hayes, the O-Dog, Jeff O'Neill, and Jonas Siegel in here. How are we feeling this afternoon?
Feeling amazing. Wouldn't mind getting some of my underwear back from Air Canada.
Yeah, what's going on, man? You got hit on the way down and on the way back? Is that true? What happened?
I don't care about where you fly or if you fly priority, but it's a one-way. It's just a simple flight, hour and 45 minutes. Priority both ways. And both times, no luggage. All of my underwear are in a luggage case in Minneapolis right now. All of them.
Okay. Maybe they've been flagged. Like, there's a chance they've been flagged and those things are being studied. They're being studied. Like, you could be on a watch list right now, and you have no idea.
Yeah.
That could be what's happening.
America's most wanted. This man ever steps foot across the border again, you have to arrest him.
That would be amazing. You on America's Most Wanted. Oh, man. Well, that is disappointing. I don't think you're alone, right? I've noticed a lot of TSN employees. Like, what's going on? Because you didn't get your suits on the way down.
I thought
the jacket, the shirt that you rocked in that first game was a phenomenal look. I got to be honest. I thought it was a great look.
Great look. The word out on the way back was a bunch of people's luggage didn't make it on because they had to prioritize the hockey players' hockey bags. They had to make it back, which I thought,
okay,
great.
So you're telling me the junior players were on your flight?
Some of them, yeah. The ones heading back to one. I don't know if that was just some guy blowing smoke.
Yeah, that sounds like a completely – like, what would that guy even know?
I don't know.
And how do you tell a customer actually your baggage is less important than that
Well,
guy's?
that's what I love about Air Canada's system. They make you sit at the little thing, the turnaround thing with all the luggage on it. It's not there. You realize it didn't make it, and then they make you go stand in some stupid line to talk to somebody else. It's like, really? This is not my problem. It's yours, so figure it out.
It is a tough scene, isn't it, Jonas? Like, you travel a lot. I'm sure you have been in scenarios where your bag is not making it out.
Not as much as you would think,
really?
Knock on wood.
Knock on wood, okay.
But all I can think is Jeff is like Greg from Meet the Parents. Like, he's just stranded.
Yes. He's got nothing. Speedo in the pool.
Yes. Like, what did you do when you got there?
What are you talking about? When I got there, my bag with all my underwear made it through the border. And then just my suits, like my garment bag, didn't make it. But Gord Miller's daughter, Blair, came the next day, and she just grabbed it for me at the airport. So this time, I've got my garment bag with all my suits and stuff, but all my socks, all my underwear, all my clothes, like, they're all gone.
I think there's a real chance that it's been flagged. Like, I really would be concerned about that on the way back. But, yeah, it's crazy because it ruins travel. Like, we went to Mexico. We went to an all-inclusive 12, 13 years ago. My wife's bag didn't make it.
For the whole trip?
For the whole trip. Do you know how especially, like, for a guy,
easy.
I'm cool. I'm going to go buy a pair of shorts and a T-shirt, and I'm like, gives me an excuse. I'm sitting in the pool all day. It was difficult because she had, nightwear, and we're going for dinners, and it was such a jam job. And they eventually found the bag, and it was on some different plane and I don't even know where the hell it was. Somehow they found it. At least you're home, right? Like, when you're home, you can recalibrate. You can go to a store. You've probably got backup stuff. When you're on the road,
somewhere else, it's
man. And you know where this is exclusively for, like, golfers and probably skiers. But if you go on a golf trip, do you know how nervous you are on your flight down about your bag getting through? A, getting there. B, they don't snap anything. Because you've done it all. Like, it is, you can't breathe on the flight. You're like, I know this bag's not going to make it. Like, I'm flying to play golf, and I know my bag's not going to get there. Or I'm going to get there, I'm going to pull my driver out, and it's snapped in two. And you got to rely on it.
If I ever went on a golf trip, Hayes, and the clubs didn't show up, I'd be right back on my way. I'm not
sickening.
I'm not
sickening.
renting clubs to tee it up.
Yeah.
I need my stuff, and I'm not doing it. Let me ask you both, fair or foul on this one, airport etiquette. I rode to the airport with Duthie and Frankie. Just as we're pulling into the airport, Duthie says, drop us off at the Air Canada gate there, and we'll get out, and we'll look after the luggage, stand by the luggage, so we don't have to go park the rental car and then walk a long distance with the luggage. So we get out, and Frankie goes back and turns in the rental car, and I'm thinking, Duthie's here with Frankie's stuff. It doesn't take two grown adults to watch over this guy's luggage.
No.
You left.
I'm out, and I'm going to check into this flight.
Yeah, I don't know. I do think there's a foxhole element to that.
For what?
Well, you all shared the car. You know, obviously
yes.
Frankie took the responsibility, maybe because he's the rookie. It's like you're driving here.
He had to drive the car. He was the only guy that was allowed to drive the car. It was in his name.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It could have been in your name.
Two other 50-year-old men need to stand by his luggage just to stand there.
I think the symbolism of saying thank you for driving for 2 weeks. Thank you for taking the responsibility of bringing the car back that we all shared equally. We're going to wait it out for you. I do think there's an element of, you know, we're living in a society here, and you're probably supposed to wait. I think it's a jam job by you.
Isn't this the guy you carved? Like, his driving is just
there's
terrible?
no question about it. He's the worst driver in Canada. There is a show, Canada's Worst Driver. He could be on it.
Well, he's coming up in like 20 minutes. So Frankie's going to join us on the trip, on all these endeavors. I'm sure he'll answer for what you just asked. Does he feel like he got thrown off a little bit? They're
the two characters in Planes, Trains, and Automobiles?
Yeah. Which one's John Candy?
That's a great question.
What are you alluding to, Jonas?
I guess Frankie is Del Griffiths.
Oh, you think Frankie's Del? That's a good call. Yes, I agree. I think Frankie is Del Griffiths. All right. Well, Frankie will join us in 20, again, on the whole scene in Minnesota. You got back in time for a great hockey game last night. And
tell you what, man, I got to say this. I'm glad I took a break from the Leafs because they're not exactly blasting it all over TVs in Minneapolis.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get some app out, watch the Leafs, but I tuned into them last night, and that's the best I've seen them play all year long. That game last night, it looked like they had a purpose. They were moving. They had intensity. It was like they played to win the hockey game. It's almost like, and we've seen it with a bunch of teams with the stretches they've had this year, it was like they've lifted the fog off of everything, their heads, their legs, and they were just moving and playing with a purpose like it was an NHL game.
Mm-hmm.
It was like they came out of a fog. It was awesome to watch. I couldn't believe how good they looked.
They played great last night, and this is what they've been doing recently. They're 5-0-2 in their last 7 games. They have 12 of a possible 14 points. Still not in the playoffs. Still feels like miles behind Montreal, Detroit,
dude.
Tampa, which is crazy.
They still got their work cut off for them.
Yes.
They're going to start hitting the road here, and it is going to get greasy out there.
It is. Now, maybe you're hitting Colorado at the right time. They just went through the East Coast, and they've lost a couple of games. All of a sudden, Tampa got them last night. Florida got them a couple of nights ago. They're in Colorado on Monday. You're in Philly tomorrow. Philly keeps winning. You know, it's such a convoluted Eastern Conference. It's crazy. Again, the Leafs have played really well and picked up a lot of points, and they're in a better spot than they were 2 weeks ago, but it doesn't really feel like it based on points. But you got 40 games left, so there's a lot of wiggle room still left. You know, you played yourself into an opportunity to push for the playoffs, where 2 weeks ago, I would say when they went through Nashville and Dallas, there was a fork in the road. Like coming home, that Pittsburgh game before Christmas, it was like, what are you going to do here, guys? Like, are you just going to pack up shop and say, not our year, too many injuries, we're not going to do it, we don't have it, okay, fine, you got rid of Mark Savard, that's not enough? Or are you going to actually come alive? And they beat Pittsburgh that game on the 23rd. They haven't really lost since, outside of an overtime. And last night, I thought was a very important, like, symbolic night, again, because of who they played against. They dominated. I thought they were bigger, tougher, more engaged than Florida last night. Matthews scores again. You know, he remains on a heater. Sundin's in the house. Like, it was a lively evening. And to their credit, they've really come alive.
Well, and Jeff, I think you hit the nail on the head with the word purpose.
Yeah.
Like, remember some of those games early in the year? It's like, what is going on here? Like, it just looks like there's no energy. There's no.
Jonas, it started the last preseason game they played.
Yeah.
Where it was like a full lineup and everyone was like, okay, I guess. I mean, nobody cares. Last preseason game. And then it just bled on for 25 games. And everyone was like, what in the hell is wrong with these guys? There was no purpose. They were in a fog. They didn't have it. It was night after night. How many times? And for everybody that was kind of chirping at Craig Berube, he kept on going back to the well and saying the same thing. And he was right. Because it's a mindset. He kept saying it's a mindset. And people are like, oh, it's a mindset. This guy's stupid. He's crazy. It is a mindset. And if you don't have that kind of purpose, then what the hell are you doing out there?
Well, I think, there's
Jonas, don't shake your
Go
head.
ahead, Jonas. You
I
don't
just
see a
say
purpose.
both things can be true. I don't think he was doing.
Okay, what is your reaction to that?
I mean, he was partly to blame for what was going on. Like, we can't.
Everyone has to be responsible when you have an awful 30-game
He's the head
stretch.
coach. Like,
Yeah.
but I think your larger point was, could they have played better? For sure. But it was like blame pie.
Yeah.
What are you going to say?
Yeah, well, I think ultimately there's three pillars of success in the regular season in the NHL. Star players playing to their capability, special teams, and goaltending.
Yeah.
Those three pillars have come alive. Like Matthews in particular. Willie's not playing. John Tavares is blending into every game. I didn't even know. Again, I'm not going to get negative on last night.
Yeah.
John is not really chugging. It's Matthew Nyes that has to get going, which he did last night. When Willie returns, if he teams up with Tavares, John's probably going to be the third guy in the line. Like, just try to do what you do, win draws, be good in tight areas, score some goals, don't get caved in. But their star players, Matthews in particular, has been outstanding.
Yep.
Their goaltending has been really good. Like, Wall's been really good. And their special teams has been the best collective special team unit in the league. Like, their penalty kill is outstanding, and their power plays come alive. Like, there's not, you can't look at third line to third line. There's not much difference in the league, whether it's Colorado or Winnipeg. First place, last place, not a ton of difference in who your depth guys are. Systems, everyone kind of knows what everyone's playing. Yes, there's a different identity, and in the playoffs, it can be a different story altogether. But a lot of it's like, are your star players playing like stars? You're getting some special teams, and you're getting some goaltending. At least that's how you get on a heater.
The best part of what you just said was the first part. Like, if your stars are playing like stars, and Austin Matthews, it was like, kind of had 2.5, 3 breakaways last night. He had some purpose. Jonas, I know you love that word now. He just, on the power play, he's looking to shoot and be like a threat. It's like it's a completely different look for him.
Well, and you know what? Like, he looks confident now. Like, he's getting 3, 4, 5 looks a night where it's like, man, he's going to score.
Yeah.
And like,
he was like the rest. He was leading the charge of in the fog. Jonas, was he not? Like, he was out there. And you talked about John Tavares blending into games, which unfortunately you're bang on with that comment, Hayes, because it's like he had that spurt at the beginning of the year, and it's just like there's not much there right now.
No,
there's not. But Austin Matthews, it was like you watched him play, and you were like, he didn't do anything different than Bobby McMahon did that game or anyone else. It was like there was no separation between him and the other guys, where he's one of the best players in the world, and he was awesome last night. Really fun to watch.
And he has been for weeks now. Oh, like that's the thing. Like
perfect.
He was lights out on the island. He had a hat trick the game before that. He is come alive, and it's a bizarre flip. It's an uber positive one. But this guy went 90 to 100 games where he just did not look like himself. And now all of a sudden something has flipped in the last 2 weeks. I don't know if it's his line mates. I don't know if it's something got to him where he's like, man, you better snap out of this or this is trouble, because they were in a dark place a couple of weeks ago. And he himself was leading the charge in terms of him representing the larger issues with the team.
Yeah.
I have a theory, Hayes.
And now he's rocking, man. He's playing with energy. He's happy. You know, again, this is from afar, and that's getting a little bit heavy. But he looks and feels like a very different player than he was 2 weeks ago.
I have a theory, and you might call it crazy, and it might be stupid. But during the holidays, I took my youngest daughter, Ellie, for her birthday to the Maple Leafs at home versus the Edmonton Oilers. And McDavid made everyone look stupid. And Matthews was just a ghost in that game.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if that game kind of hit home where it was like there's some embarrassment involved or he just said, all right, enough's enough. I can't have this matchup, which is so great over the last 4 or 5, whatever it's been. And then it was just no contest tonight. What am I, out of that conversation? And maybe that woke him up a little bit. I hope that's the case. I hope he was embarrassed for that game because it was a mess. And he's picked it up. He's been unbelievable.
I think the hope is that's the accurate. It's not just a theory. That's actually what's happened because that would speak to a mental spark that's changed. The concern was, is it physical? He's slowed down. He's not getting his shot off at the same capacity. Because you're right. You look at his counterparts over the last 6 or 7 years, the guys who have dominated the league, McDavid, McKinnon, Draisaitl, Kucherov, like those are the 4 guys, and him. Like those have been the 5 offensive juggernauts over the last 6 or 7 years. Yes, Sid's been in there, Ovi, but they were kind of the previous generation who were still doing it.
The first 25 games of this season, he wasn't even in the same.
Not even close.
Friend group. He got tossed out of the friend group.
Right. And something, again, has happened. And I think you look to his line mates, like Bobby McMahon's been really good.
Yep.
Like he's been aggressive. He's skating. He's been physical. Max Domi is what he is, but I think Austin likes playing with him. Like, and Austin feels like he can trust that Max is going to find him some looks. And he's capitalizing on those. And, you know, he's lost. Like last year, it was Nyes, Matthews, Marner basically every game. And Nyes is on a different line and Marner's in Vegas. So it's he something had to give. And we've always said this, and it applies to every great player in every sport. You have to lift your teammates up if you're a superstar. If you're like an all-time great player, yes, you need to rely on your other guys, and it makes your life easier. But it can't completely sink you if one guy leaves to a different team.
It is a pretty big guy, to be fair.
Yeah,
but it can't sink you, though, Jonas.
They played together like 6 seasons in a row.
So
basically.
what?
It can't sink you if you're 28 years old and a superstar.
Agree. Sink you, no, but like it has an effect, right?
Yeah. There's
Does
a guy
it?
out in Edmonton
I don't know. Look
that
at him
wears
right
number
now.
29. He goes out there with Kasperi Kapanen and Podkolzin every night, or less. Yeah,
But
it's
what-
Podkolzin and Savoy.
What would Mitch Marner do differently for this guy over the last 6 or 7 games? Think he'd have better stats?
I mean,
He'd
he's
look
just
better?
a better player.
No, I know, but would Austin Matthews look and play differently if Domi's off and Marner's on this line?
Yes.
I totally disagree.
But they played together last year, and it wasn't like it was amazing.
Exactly, because it was him.
But so that's where like I don't know, like your mindset thing is fair, sort of. But physically, he looks
You just
different.
don't want to give Craig Berube props for just calling it like it, and it's
I
a
don't
mindset.
care about that.
No, I know. You
read,
refuse to do it.
Go read
Come
my
on, Jonas.
story.
Come on, Jonas.
No.
I give him credit
I'm
for
not
putting that
reading
line
anything.
together. Like when
That's
he did
worked.
that, I was like, that's
Well,
weird.
and
Bobby McMahon's playing with Matthews now. That's
The
odd.
Waugh, Cow, and Robertson line has been
Working.
great.
Yeah,
It's been great for
agreed.
them. And
But
it's
here's the
helped them,
thing,
and-
Hayes. You got 2 lines that work. Figure out where William Nylander's going to fit in there. Don't break them up. Remember when McMahon, Waugh, and who was the third guy on the line?
Joshua.
They were playing great, and all of a sudden somebody came back and was like, "Let's break that line up." Don't touch those 2
Well,
lines.
he's just going to go in for Michelli.
I know, but Michelli's been really good.
He's been good.
Obviously, Willie's better and going to play.
Yes.
Like, that goes without saying.
But
to the credit of Michelli, he's played very
Michelli,
well
yeah.
since
But
he's
I got
gone
to
in.
say this, guys. I got to add this into this. Regardless of what lines or what chemistry you have, if you get a star player back that just is on his own program and he's loafing and he's floating and he's doing his own thing and he's garbage out there, it screws up everybody's tempo and everybody's kind of chemistry. Because it's like if you got things are cooking right now, if Willie comes back, he's got to be dialed in and ready to work and do his thing and be jumping and hustling. Because he comes back and he's pissy and he's just floating. Everyone's like, this is screwing everything up, man. It's a bad vibe. It's a bad vibe.
It's on him to step in and contribute and play the way he's capable of playing.
Still leading the team in scoring. I mean,
I get it.
I
get it, Paul. I get it. I know you're his agent.
Yeah,
I
just think you guys attack him for no reason.
Attack him.
No one's attacking him. This is just a reality that he's going to be reinserted into the lineup when he's ready, of course. But you got to find it's a moving ship. Where I don't know where he's going to play, but it's on him to step in and contribute, and it's on Craig Berube to make it work.
How can I do my thing and be awesome and yet still have the team continue with their intensity and everything's moving in the right direction?
Fair.
I just want to add to it in the way that I can, and that's a pretty special add.
Yeah.
Well,
that's it.
That we haven't really mentioned is they played that game last night, and this was where like the injury conversation early in the year was like. It felt like a little bit of a crutch because, like, you can win with injuries. Like, they didn't have McCabe last night. They didn't have Tanev. They didn't have Nylander. They didn't have Stolars. They didn't have Joshua. Played great.
Yeah. Yeah, well, exactly. It's a collective, right? It's a team as opposed to the core of, the core four or whatever and looking at the main guys. Carlo returned. He looked good last night. Morgan Riley had a really good game. Good credit to Morgan Riley. Huge bounce back. They needed that desperately. He played really well last night. But it's interesting you say that because – Matt, it's still the Matthews, Nylander, Tavares, Riley, like those guys, they're the carryovers. They've been here, high expectations, tons of responsibility. But because they've dug themselves a hole, like I'm sensing some nostalgia tracking them this year because they've played themselves into a position where the regular season matters. And it's an opportunity for them to actually win a lot of people back in the weirdest way because they dug themselves a hole where people wrote them off or said, what the hell is going on here? If you become a team that drags yourself out of it, they put themselves into it. If you drag yourself out of it with hard work and resiliency and go out there and you play physically and you feel like you're connecting and you go on a heater, that gets people revved up. Like it's been a long time. Like some of the most fun, entertaining seasons that I can recall covering this team, obviously the rookie season for Matthews was crazy. The lockout season in 12-13 when they made the playoffs for the first time in forever was one of the most fun rides in 20 years. And they made it, and obviously we know what happened in the playoffs, Game 7, up 4-1, et cetera. But they played every other night. They hit, they fought, they won. They found a way to make every game important. And that's the position they put themselves in here, where last year – in previous years, it's like, wake me up in April. You can't wake up in April. They may not be there. There's no guarantee they're going to be there. So it's actually based on their own poor performance early in the year. They've made the regular season so much more captivating, and they have an opportunity here if they play well and they drag themselves out of this when they're still up against the wall to look resilient, to look like a fun team, to connect as a good team, and actually win a lot of people back, which is kind of crazy to say.
You speak about winning people back, and I don't know how true it is. Hayes, we've both got friends, some mutual, that said to me during the slide when they weren't playing well, it's like stuff like this. I don't even watch them anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which I have a very
I'm not sure that was true, but
I know.
They'd say it, yes.
Or honestly, I've had tickets in the last 5 games. I haven't even gone. I haven't even used. I heard that stuff, and I don't know if that's just people showing their frustration. They actually went or they actually watched, but I'll tell you what, they're back in. They are 100% back in right now.
Oh yeah. Oh, the texts are starting to fly. Love this. Domian going out. Ekblad. What happened with Lawton last night? Matthews looks great. Yeah, I mean, it can turn quickly, and ultimately, I'm sure every fan base. It's not exclusive to Leaf fans, but Leaf fans, they want to believe in the team. They want them to win. They want them to do well, and recently, obviously, that's been happening. Now it's going to be difficult. You're in Philly tomorrow, Vancouver Saturday, then it's like Colorado, Utah. You got Colorado twice before the break, Vegas twice before the break. You're on the road a lot. You got Minnesota rolling through town. You got Detroit. You still got to go through Edmonton, go through the West Coast. It's going to be tough. Like it's going to be a grind here. There's no questioning that. But every team's got to do it. Like every team's playing every other night the rest of the way. So can you get on a heater, stay hot, find a way to get in, reset?
Jonas, where does their schedule rank in the second half? Is it
the
hardest
like
schedule?
One of the 3 hardest the last time I checked.
Mm-hmm.
Like 3rd hardest.
Yeah,
which makes sense. And it's like they're not even practicing.
And they've been awful on the road.
They didn't practice today, which would never happen. And I don't think they'll practice Friday.
No.
It's just game.
They're
off,
just going to
game.
I'll
off.
bet you between now and the Olympic break, they may practice 2 or 3 times tops.
Yeah, right.
It'll just be reset, optionals, get in the gym, be ready to play.
Well, and I wonder, so I was going to ask you guys this. Who do you start in goal tomorrow? Because to me, that's a Hildeby game. However,
I'd be comfortable playing him.
Yeah, right?
And then you got a back-to-back Colorado-Utah.
Yes. You play Saturday. So Saturday would be Wall. Then Monday would be Wall in Colorado.
Yeah, I mean, you got to put your best foot forward against them.
Anyway, it was just something I thought about.
I think you're...
Why not Wall tomorrow, Wall Monday? Like,
yeah.
Vancouver, with all disrespect, they have this
That's
kind
a
of
good
one
call.
of the worst teams in the league.
Yeah,
right?
they've been terrible.
And you're in the mix with Philly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I think, though, what you're getting to, and I think what we'll see, is 2 starts from Wall, 2 starts from Hildeby.
It has to be.
Wall is not starting 3 games in 5 nights or whatever it is.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen.
What a gig he's going to have the rest of his career.
Yeah.
Don't play me more than 35 games.
35.
Don't even think about it. But
35. But he's playing well. To his credit, he's playing well. Hildeby's been good. All right, Frankie Corrado coming up. Rick Tocchet will join us. Leafs in Philly tomorrow. Rick's coming up just after 5. Jerry's percentages back today at 5:30. Overdrive continues. TSN 1050 and up on TSN 4.
The Australian Open on TSN and TSN Plus. Subscribe now.
Saturday on TSN 1050. It's the NFL Super Wildcard Weekend. The LA Rams take on the Carolina Panthers. Plus the nightcap between the Green Bay Packers and the Chicago Bears. Coverage starts at 4 p.m. Hear it all on TSN 1050. The NFL lives here. Now, back to Overdrive with Hayes, Noodles, and the O-Dog.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I got you.
All right, Overdrive continues, powered by FanDuel, bringing you everything from the opening line to the final score. Jerry's in an hour, Rick Tocchet in a half an hour. I wonder if Rick's ever left his goalie in for 9 goals in a game like Sheldon Keefe did last night with Jakob Markstrom. 9-0. The Islanders beat Jersey last night.
There is something wrong in that Devils. There's something up there.
Yeah, that's not good.
And I heard PK, I was watching the highlights this morning, and PK said it numerous times. He was like, the Devils want to get the puck off the yellow, which means they want to get it away from the boards. That's fine, but if your whole motto is get it away from the yellow, we don't want to be in the yellow, you got big-time problems, man.
Yeah.
You've got to be able to play in the yellow, whether you like it or don't want to do it. If you can't do it and completely want to avoid it, you're probably screwed.
Absolutely. Have to be able to check, right? That's Ken Hitchcock said that. You got to check to win. All right, let's bring in our boy Frankie Corrado, who did a phenomenal job at the World Juniors. Phenomenal job, and was labeled as possibly the worst driver in Canada. And among other very disparaging comments from our main man, the O-Dog. Frankie, great to see you. Do you want to take the floor here and respond to some of these really libelous comments, to be frank? I mean,
what's
it's been
up,
ugly.
boys?
How we doing?
How we doing? O-Dog, great to see you. We spent a lot of time together. Some of it a little more stressful than others, apparently. Let me just get one thing very clear here, make it very clear. This guy, everything about his persona and his aura, his whole vibe is we got to get to where we're going as quick as humanly possible and just get out of here. So the first time I'm in the car with him, that's the vibe I'm getting. So I don't drive like a grandma. I drive a little bit over the speed limit. I get onto the highway, I'm ready to boogie. It's like you go back in your seat, you feel the car, and then I'm weaving a little bit. Halfway through the drive, I had no idea this guy didn't have a need for speed. He looks at me and he goes, "Bud, I just got to tell you, you're the worst, most dangerous driver I've ever seen."
That's.
I go. What are you talking about? Everything about you screams, "We gotta go."
Mm-hmm.
He's like, you just
I know.
you just gotta slow down with me in the car.
You know, there's the other analogy is playing golf, where it's like move, and then he's like, "Man, you're terrible." I'm like, "Well, Can I slow?
Right.
I got to read a putt here, so I got to slow down a little bit. I have a pre-shot routine."
I don't appreciate the comment about everyone can play at their own pace.
That's not true with you,
dude. Do I appreciate it? No. You do what you do. Okay. I don't really care.
All right, that's
okay.
fine.
So So that's part one. Part two, I did almost drag dregs across the parking lot. That is true. I will admit to that.
You got to own that one.
Part three, I'll own that one. I owe dregs. Part three is this. I saved the World Juniors in TSN. I saved the company because we were coming home, and Joe from the Bridge has the video. Joe from the Bridge, you can go ahead and play this. We were driving home from the arena, and this is the exit ramp. I went the next day, okay? And this is not me filming it. But this is the exit ramp, and as we're getting off this ramp, as soon as we get to one lane and you can see that tunnel coming up, this is a one-lane tunnel, headlights, car coming towards us right there.
Crazy.
Car starts coming towards us.
Crazy.
I swerve onto the guardrail, or I get away from it, and then that's where Duthie may or may not have used someone as a human shield. I can't confirm that, but what I can
He said, I
confirm
can't go like
is
this.
Duthie,
You got to go first.
in the back seat, Duthie had the audacity to yell to me, Frankie, are you in the wrong lane?
Oh, so it was your
As if
fault.
I'm in the wrong lane.
Yeah.
Like
that's
this.
so
And
disappointing.
because this guy planted the seed that, like, I'm the world's worst driver, so Duthie thinks I'm in the wrong lane.
Right.
I get everyone home safe. That's like $8 million I just saved TSN.
No kidding.
It's like
Oh.
talent salary this year.
This happened in planes, trains, and automobiles.
Yeah, literally, these guys, exactly. And I don't know who Duthie, what his role is in that movie. There wasn't really any third guy of substance. But I love how Duthie immediately blames you, Frankie. Like, that's not leadership from our guy. We don't want to hear that. He wouldn't yell that at Stephen Caldwell at the World Cup, right? He would never do that to Stevie.
He would. It's all about protecting him. It's like, it is. As long as he's okay, everything should be good. I just want to tell you guys about, before we get into the hockey chatter, the greasiest thing that someone did to me at the World Junior tournaments. And Frankie, you either heard this or you didn't hear it. I was eating at the press meal before we left the game at the Minnesota University, the 3M building, and I just said to one of the catering guys, because he looked like he knew what was going on with the food and stuff, I said, sir, how about the next meal we get, and I'm going to pay for this myself. Let's sprinkle in some Diet Cokes for the people. It's just a nice little treat when you have a little meal, because they were drinking water out of a tub. So I said, if you... a couple of cases of Diet Coke, I'll pay for it. He says, sure, what's your number? I give him my number. This guy sends an email to the head of USA Hockey, our bosses, and basically Luke Tardif of the double IHF, saying this bozo from TSN is looking for Diet Coke for the meals.
Oh, no.
So someone approaches me and said, did you start asking for Diet Cokes down there at the meal? And I said, I offered to pay for it on my own, but that ratted me out and was acting like I was just pestering him about these Diet Cokes.
That's disappointing, too.
That's a
I
tough
saw
one.
this
That's
happen.
a sewer job.
I saw the whole thing. I saw the whole thing go down. It took place in an elevator, and just for the record, the guy that O talked to, like, picture when Doogie was an intern at TSN 1050. That was the equivalent of who he talked to. And that guy went to his boss, and his boss went to the head of USA Hockey, and we received a screenshot of the email. And my favorite part of the whole email is he is adamant that he will pay for this with his own credit card.
Wow.
Why don't you just bring your own Diet Coke?
Dude, I don't know.
That's a better question.
Come on, man.
You could have
Dude.
supplied it yourself.
Or
That's a
just
very
bring
good
your own
point.
bottle and
Jonas, you know this.
Great
People
point,
behind
Jonas.
the scenes in television, they work their asses off.
100%.
They deserve when they go down
deserve
for a
Diet
lunch
Coke.
break.
Yeah.
No,
And
no.
by the way,
this was for the people. This was for the people.
For the people.
Speaking of people that work their asses off behind the scenes in television, how dare you drag Franklin Rubenstein through the mud like that? That was awful. That guy is the best director in hockey. And you're saying that, like, he's not doing anything on the treadmill? Like, he's down there. He's working hard.
He's
we
working.
love Franklin.
Yeah,
Franklin's
so
the
yeah, you
best.
did take a shot at him and his gym routine, but he's not there to do his gym routine. He's there to make sure that everyone sees what they need to see, and he is the best.
I'll end it like this. I want to congrats the Flyers. They win the World Juniors Fitness. In the gym, hardcore workouts was Keith Jones, Danny Briere, and Patrick Sharp. every day for 2 hours. They were going
Nice.
crazy in the gym. And I didn't really think Jonesy was like that, but he was doing like CrossFit routines, weights, dumbbells. He was killing it. All of the Flyers management, the brass was great.
It starts at the top, right? Like Philly's been a pretty good story, man. Like the Leafs are in there tomorrow night, and like Darth Vladar has been great. Like Vladar's been really good in net, and Zegras has stepped in, and you know that's not going to be an easy test tomorrow night. And Rick Tocchet, he's got that team defending. They defend really well. Their power play is not great. They don't score a ton of goals, but they defend really well. That's Rick Tocchet hockey, right?
That's their MO, man. And if you were evaluating the Flyers at the start of the season, you would have looked at things and said they're going to roll out Ersson and Vladar in net. They're going to give Zegras a look to see what he's got. Their first-line center is probably going to be Christian Dvorak. There's no way, I'm sorry, there's no way you would have thought that this team would be as good or as successful as they are. But guess what, man? Like, when Tocchet comes in there and he implements his style of game and he has a way of communicating with guys like Zegras to get them on board, all of a sudden, man, you got something going there. And I appreciate this about that whole organization. You're either a Flyer or you're not. And there's a certain way of conducting business if you are. And they've stuck to that this season. So credit to them. Credit to the goaltenders because their goaltending position was awful last year. It was the worst in the NHL, so you're always fighting an uphill battle. But that's a really good story. And they're a tough out, and they're one of those teams, man. Like, they're just going to grind you down, and they're not going to do anything different or out of the ordinary. You know exactly what you're going to get.
Yeah.
Think about, like, if you can get, like, all these teams are talking about their structure and this and that. And once again, fellas, glad Noodles is not here. Imagine if there was, like, elite goaltending. Like, we're talking about Dan Vladar securing up the goaltending position for the Philadelphia Flyers. Imagine if you got an elite guy in there, which there's none left. And I was talking to a bunch of people at the juniors about the goaltending in the NHL, and it's just – there used to be 12 to 15 superstar goaltenders in the league, and now there's what, 2?
Yeah, and I mean Shesterkin's hurt now. Hellebuck, unfortunately, he's carried them too much, and his numbers.
He's out of gas.
He's out of gas, and he had the injury, and I don't know if he came back too soon. They lost again. They had that game last night in Vegas.
Dude.
They lose to Vegas. That's 10 losses in a row.
Dude, they're in trouble, man. Like,
they're
mentally.
dead last
I
in the
heard
league.
Cole Perfetti saying, like, we deserve, like, they're starting to say stuff like we deserve to win a bunch of these, and it's tough to listen
Moral
to.
victory time, and like the division's gone clearly because Colorado, Dallas, and Minnesota are so far gone. It's scary. Can they get into a wild card race? You know, technically they can because the West isn't that good.
But Jonas, what's your breakdown? And Frankie, you've done some of these games, so maybe you can weigh in after Jonas comes up with a stat pack. What is your breakdown of what's happened to the Jets? Because they won the President's Trophy last year. Like, is Nick Ehlers the best player in the world where they lost him and all of a sudden they're the worst? Talk to me, Jonas.
Come on, Jonas. Chat GP Jonas.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I think there's some similarities to here with the team where it's an older team. They lose a star. I mean,
is Ehlers a star? He's a good player.
He's not on Marner level, but you take him away, older team. And, like, some of the underlying numbers with them, I don't want to bring that up, but they were like alarm bells going off.
President's Trophy winners, alarm bells?
But defensively, they didn't give up anything last year.
Right,
and Hellebuck
but
was phenomenal.
Yeah, older team.
Yeah, no, I hear you, man. It's like President's Trophy to dead last in the league in January. This isn't 10 games into the season.
Well, unlike
they're 40 games in. They're
Lowry
dead last.
is playing, I guess, as their second-line center.
That's an issue.
Well, they don't have a second line.
Right.
Second
the
line
Taves
has been a
hasn't-
huge issue for
right.
them. Nemesnikov's given them hardly anything. You know, Perfetti isn't going to drive your line, and Jonathan Taves hasn't been able to really fill that void.
They have one line.
So right, they have one line, and you lost 2 players last year, and you couldn't really replace them. You lost Ehlers, and you lost Mason Appleton. And it doesn't seem like much, but it is a lot. And to go with that, like the Jets were always just hard to play against, right? Like they would wear you down, they would grind you down. They don't do that anymore. They give up chances. They don't have that extra gear that they found offensively last year. It's tough, man. Like I don't know how much more Hellebuck can carry them. I think you're right, Hayes, but when you lose the essence of what your team is, hard to play against, I mean, that's the dam breaks pretty quickly.
Yeah, they're 10 points out of a playoff spot. Like, it's over.
That's too far.
Yeah, it's gone. It's too much. You're done. You're in too deep of a a dark place right now. So it's Winnipeg, Vancouver, Calgary at the bottom of the West, which is pretty crazy. Ottawa's near the bottom of the East. They're in Utah tonight, and then I think Colorado tomorrow. Then they come home and play Florida. They're changing up their lines in Ottawa. They're trying to figure it out. Allmark's not there, and their goaltending's been a mess.
They have the best goals, expected goals against. They're one of the best in the NHL. They give up nothing.
Mm-hmm.
They're basically the early 2000s New Jersey Devils, but they can't get a save.
Yeah,
that's what. I don't mean it's a little exaggerated, but that's what's killed them. You could have Scotty Bowman behind the bench. You could play, reinvent the trap and do it so that no one's going to get anything. But if you can't get a save, that's where you are right now with Ottawa.
Absolutely.
And that's a tough way to conduct business, man.
Yeah.
They need something back there.
That's what is going to determine who makes it or breaks it. Like who gets in is who's got a goalie that's going to give you 40 games. Like that, the 8 teams in both conferences, it's going to be largely goaltending.
Speaking of that, and it wasn't on him, but I was curious for the two of you, not so much you.
All right, Jonas, just relax. Okay, go ahead.
What message does it send as a room to leave a guy in for 9 goals? Like, are guys pissed off about that? Are they pissed off that they lost 9? Like,
I hope so. I'll answer
they're
that.
Gonna be, obviously that is going to be, but what
is
is
Patrick Waugh like?
Right.
9 goals against a rival. Go ahead, Frankie. But I don't know what Keefe was thinking last night.
I think that's one of those conversations that guys will have at the back of the plane and say, of all the things that went wrong last night, how the hell did he keep him in for 9 goals, right? There's going to be little whispers and murmurs, and I don't know, that they had they had a weird game against Carolina where Luke Hughes has a couple boo-boos and he gets booed off the ice, and it's if that wasn't enough to send a message within the group that it's not good enough and you need to do better, then you give up 9 and the goalie stays in. I almost look at it this way. There's enough blame to go around for everyone, whether it's the goaltender, the player's lack of response, what's the coach doing. It's everything when it goes like that.
Big time.
Was it let me just clarify this. Was it a back-to-back situation?
No. Didn't play last night. Don't play tonight.
But we don't know what's been going on behind the scenes, if he's getting pissy with Markstrom and wanted him just to battle through that and tried to figure out something. And who knows? It's just if he was just expecting and sometimes if a coach will just see that the goalie's dying to get out, after 3 or 4, if he was kind of almost making his way to the bench, he'll just say, you know what, screw you, man. Mm-hmm. You're just going to have to chew on this one and figure something out. And he ultimately didn't. But now we're talking about real big problems. You talk about the fans booing Hughes off the ice, goalie staying in for 9. You wonder where this is going to leave the Devils after this one.
Yeah.
Because there's people going nuts that are Devils fans.
No, and they should be. I mean, they're committed to a lot of guys too, right? Their cap situation, they couldn't get in on Quinn Hughes by all accounts because they couldn't move money. Palat's a disaster for them right now, and Dougie Hamilton, and Markstrom's a guy obviously they went out to get a couple of years ago, and look at his numbers, look at the way he's playing.
Every year it's injuries there, right? Yeah. Every year we say if the Devils can just stay healthy. Well, they lost Jack Hughes for a bit, but I mean the guys that are injured now, it's like Nemitz, Dadonov, Kovacevic. Every team's got those kinds of injuries, so you can't really use it as an excuse for what's going on there.
No, exactly. Every team is doing it. All right, Frankie. Great stuff, buddy. Good to see you.
Yeah,
great stuff with the World Juniors. And
slow down.
Slow down. Just take it easy, all right? Take it easy on the roads. You're back home.
Okay, boys. Have a good one.
There he is, Frankie Corrado. Rick Tocchet coming up in 20 minutes. We might have to ask him about that Reeves-Olivier fight last night, because Rick Tocchet would speed bag fights. We interviewed him a few years ago and we talked about his famous fight with Wendell. He and Wendell Clark fought at the Gardens, and the two of them are just throwing bombs. There's no defense. It's pure speed bag fighting.
We got to see if Joe from the Bridge can find this video before we bring Talk in, maybe after the break, Joe. The guy turtled on Rick Tocchet, and Rick Tocchet went absolutely nuts, and he just started punching him in the ribs while the guy was turtling on the ground. It was ridiculous to watch.
Yeah. That's Wendell would do that. Chaser would do that. Guy, it's I'm going to send you a message here. You're gonna pay a price. I'm not leaving. Okay, we'll find that video. We got to find the video. Tocchet and Clark back in the day. I think Wendell might have been a rookie, maybe 86, 87, but it was early in both careers. And Rick Tocchet will join us in about 15 minutes. Jerry's coming up as well. OverDrive continues up on YouTube Live.
Now, back to OverDrive with Hayes, Noodles, and the O-Dog.
I mentioned the video of Rick Tocchet, and I'm really looking forward to seeing it. Joe from the Bridge, great work. Have a look at this video. I believe what I recall is a guy turtling, and Rick is so pissed off he just started punching him in the ribs.
So they're playing the Calgary Flames. Lanny McDonald's out there.
Yeah.
And
look at this guy. Look, he turtles.
Oh, my God. That is a body shot,
just
man.
Suckers him right in the ribs.
Wow, who was that?
Is.
Number 4 for the Flames. I mean, I have no idea. But that would have been 87, 88, like late 80s. And Rick Tocchet. Yeah, that's a shot. Those guys were wired differently back then. Like, that wasn't the case with Olivier and Reeves last night. It was a great tilt.
Dude, that Olivier he's a $10 million player, that guy.
He doesn't lose fights.
He's the toughest guy in the league, and he scores 25 goals a year.
Yeah. He does not lose fights.
No.
Like, I don't recall the last time he lost. Remember, he beat the hell out of Rempe. What happened here, not that I'm a fighting expert, is Reeves lost his grip, and that is trouble. Because Olivier had him. You can see in the video, like Reeves, you can see his hand come off his jersey, and Olivier's got him, and you're in big trouble. You're praying he misses.
I love that Olivier, man. The guy scores 20 goals a year. He's a really good player. Maybe he doesn't score 20. He's just a really good player.
Yeah, he is. Well, they signed him to an extension, I think, this year. Like, he's in a long-term deal. Like, I think they gave him 5 or 6 years at like $3 million or something.
Yeah.
But
he's really good.
Like a part of the fabric. Here's Tocchet and Clark. And look at these two just speed bagging in the corner at the Gardens. I think it was after Wendell, just destroyed Mark Howe with a hit. Like, he hammered Mark Howe.
Look at these guys fighting.
Yeah. Well, and Rick Tocchet told us the story a couple of years ago because he's a Scarborough guy. He was in town the night before with his buddies, and they went for dinner at some steak joint downtown, and his buddies are like, you got to see this Clark kid. He's unbelievable. We love him. He's tough. He fights. So it's probably 85. It might have been Wendell's rookie year. And Rick Tocchet heard that from his friends and said, okay, well, we'll see what happens tomorrow night. And Wendell threw a huge hit on Mark Howe, and Tocchet just came in flying. And those two are so tough. Such beauties. Such beauties, the two of them. All right, Rick Tocchet, Jerry's Percentages coming up. OverDrive continues. TSN 1050 and on TSN 4.
The NBA on TSN is happening now. And for tip-off, Christmas, finals, and everywhere in between, TSN is your home for hoops.
This is OverDrive with Hayes, Noodles, and the O-Dog on TSN 1050.
What's the motto? Drop a few bills and pop a few champagne bottles. Throwing that money like
Hour 2 OverDrive continues, powered by FanDuel, bringing you everything from the opening line of the final score. Brian Hayes, the O-Dog Jeff O'Neill, Jonas Siegel in here. Jerry's Percentages later in the hour. Rick Tocchet in a few moments. You were down in Minnesota. I saw, you mentioned your boy Luke Tardif, the president of the IIHF. And I guess he said on the way out of Minnesota that the Winter Olympics hockey venue might not be fully finished for competition. But
I thought you were going to say that he was going to provide Diet Coke for the next years.
Well, that needs to happen at the Olympic Games. Maybe the O-Dog is a trailblazer. And
let me just say one thing
up.
about Minnesota. I was expecting Minnesota, where they fill up that building for high school hockey, and it's high school crazy, it's university crazy. Attendance wasn't that good, not going to lie. I can't wait to get back to Ottawa and Vancouver, places like that. I know we're going to Edmonton next year. Attendance is awesome. Mm-hmm. Ottawa, by far the best. Every game packed, amazing environment. I was talking to Craig Button. Why weren't young hockey teams going to getting into these buildings? And it was crazy, man.
Yeah.
I've never seen a junior on site like that, where it was empty games. It was crazy.
No one. It looked like it on TV. Nobody was there,
especially the non-USA games.
Exactly. I don't know. And they go to high school hockey games. I guess it's very unique, where it's they support the Wild. high school hockey, universities. But if it's any other kind of hockey, they ain't going, I guess. I don't know.
That's the States, man. That's the U.S. in a lot of ways. Like, you go down to Boston, they love the Bruins and BU and BC and Harvard. I don't know. Are they supporting everything else? I'm not sure.
Maybe not.
Yeah.
I think they got to look into like a 1 year and just try it out, like a Tampa and a Florida venue where it's like the two groups are in each city and see if the Snowbirds will go to the games or something. Just try
That's
it out.
That's an interesting thought. Yeah, it's an interesting thought. I mean, they're doing the Winter Classic. They obviously had it in Florida. I think they're doing one in Tampa coming up soon. That has been the kind of epicenter of the NHL now for the last 5 or 6 years. I don't know, man. If it doesn't work in Minnesota, what are the chances people in Tampa are coming to watch Slovakia play Germany?
It's a large population from the north. You know that, Hayes.
I know that, but it's like my old take about going to Vegas and going to watch a hockey game. If I'm in Florida, I'm not sure I need to be in a rink.
And you're looking for younger people. You're not looking for the blue hairs to wheel into a hockey game on their vacation.
Exactly. You're looking for the next generation. And that would be expected. You're right in Minnesota. Like, why not get all the hockey associations to come out? Why not get schools to come out? All that kind of stuff. And
I don't know.
I guess it just didn't happen. But, it doesn't help, of course, that the Americans lost in the quarterfinal.
Yep.
And as for the Olympic Games, we'll see what happens with the rink. They'll play. They're going to play. But
dude, I get it, but it's just so shocking. Like, the amount of time that you have to prepare for the Olympic Games. And it's like the way technology is in building. Like, I drive around Etobicoke and I see a condo building that's put up, and I didn't see it 6 months ago. It's like, and this arena is struggling to be put together. It is crazy ass stuff, man.
Yeah.
And not even put together properly.
Right.
It's like,
we'll figure it out.
Whatever.
The ice will be fine. We'll have some ice for you. Don't worry about it. Less seats than they originally expected. And I'm curious what the numbers look like.
Seats.
Who's going to go see that? Yeah.
Well, that's the question. Because Italy is not a hockey powerhouse, clearly, and there will be a lot of the athletes will be there, and I'm sure there will be people interested in it. But are people showing up to watch the U.S. play Slovakia during the day?
A lot of shots fired at Slovakia.
I'm really taking a run at them. I should take a run at Czechia. That's who I should be using.
Why, they played great.
I know, but we don't like them anymore, Jonas.
Okay.
They own us.
By the way, so your Celebrini for Hart took a little bit of a hit last night.
Yeah.
Did you see that goal McDavid scored?
The shootout goal or the
first goal?
Penalty
the shootout
shot?
goal was gross too.
The penalty shot was outstanding.
But the first goal, he looks like he's just playing against
I know.
kids.
It's very concerning.
It was
Ryan O'Reilly looked like
dominating.
a peewee goaltender on that first goal.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
He was like he head faked this way and he almost jumped across the ice like an 80s goaltender. I'll tell you what, that McDavid, ever since Hayes and Duthie started chirping him, he's been on fire.
He had 3 last night. He's up to 75 points.
I think Hayes, by the way, I think he is going to start separation. I know it's very difficult to separate from McKinnon. I think he's going to go absolutely nuts before the Olympics.
I think McKinnon just stays with him, dude. Like a week ago, McDavid was 8 points up on him or whatever, and 2 days ago, McKinnon was 3 points up on him. They're just going back and forth.
Yeah.
Like it's and I mentioned Kucherov the other day. Kucherov is now on an unbelievable heater.
They've won 8 in a row, too.
Yeah, I think did he have 3 points last night or something? Like Kucherov is going to finish with 130 points. And he didn't have a great start. But Draisaitl's right there, and Celebrini. Celebrini, they're still in a playoff spot, though, Jonas. That's big.
I just think
they're
it's going
still
to
in a
be
playoff
too
spot.
hard.
It probably will be. That was a 2025 take, right? I might change my 2026 take.
Workshop it.
Yes. But, yeah, listen, it's been a wild year in the NHL. Trying to get a read on what's going to happen, it's tough. Like in the West, again, San Jose's in a playoff spot right now. You look in the East, a lot of teams. Florida's not in. Toronto's not in. Rangers not in. Ottawa was a playoff team last year. They're not in. There's seems to be a lot of opportunity here to turn some things over. And a guy who's coaching a team right now who's currently in a playoff spot, that would be Rick Tocchet and the Philadelphia Flyers. And the Leafs are in Philly tomorrow. Let's bring him in. Here he is on the Maple Toyota Hotline, the head coach of the Flyers, Rick Tocchet. How you doing, Rick?
Good. How are you guys?
We're doing very well. You must be happy with your team through 41 games.
Yeah, it's been a fun team to coach. was it halfway through the point? A lot of hockey left, but yeah, we like what's going on. We got some injuries here coming up, but the depth has really helped us out this year when we've had some injuries and kind of try to keep these losses to a minimum.
We were talking about your fights and showing a bunch of your fights before you came on because we love talking about that. A couple of weeks ago, it seemed like you were going to fight a reporter when they kept asking you about Mitchkov. Like, did you just get sick of talking about it and you're like, it's about the team and I'm just not addressing the questions about this guy anymore?
Yeah, it was. No, it's actually a nice guy, Jordan Hall. He just happened to be the fifth guy or sixth guy that answered a different question on it. So, yeah, no, he's a good guy. Yeah, no, it just, after a while, it's just, the team was doing well, and I was like, I don't mind 3 or 4 questions, but the fifth and sixth one, I was getting a little bit tired, It happens. They're good guys. I mean, what are you going to do? They're trying to get information. I get it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, being back in Philly, it's obviously where you started, and a lot of those clips we were playing, some guy wrote who it was on Calgary. Who the hell was that guy?
Baxter.
Paul Baxter, where he gave him the body shot at one time. And we played the fight with you and Wendell at the Gardens. I think that was in 85 or 86. Like, being back in Philly, is it nostalgic for you? And how many people want to ask you about your playing days as opposed to your coaching days?
Yeah, well, let me clarify. The Paul Baxter one was he actually, you don't see it. Like, he went by me and almost hit me in the eye with a stick. So that's why I kind of went a little crazy.
Okay.
But yeah, no, not so much. I mean, not so much of my playing days. I mean, obviously, we had a lot of success in the 80s and the early 90s, and it was a fun place to play. But I'll tell you what, last night against the Ducks was probably the loudest I've heard the building. It reminded me of the old days with the Flyers. It was a really loud building. They were into it. They got the team into it. So it was fun to play in that atmosphere, to see the fans really do their thing.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up, because you look at a guy like Zegras, who, I don't think this is offside in saying he doesn't scream like Philly hockey the way, he's built and he plays, when you consider the Rick Tocchet's and the Bobby Clarks and the Eric Lindros is like the face of Philly hockey for the last 50 years. But he seems to be fitting in, and the crowd seems to love him. Like, why has it worked for Zegras in Philly?
He's got a bubbly personality. We knew that coming in. He's a fun guy to be around. Obviously he's produced, which helps. And then the Flyers fans over the years, they're looking for that. They've been looking for that star guy to follow, right? And he's done a nice job. He scored some big goals for us. He's a great interview, and you can tell the fans really are warming up to him and love him. So I think that's what it has to do with it. And, he's a really good guy in the locker room. I mean, I didn't know Trevor much. The one thing, and Obi, you would know this too. In the dressing room, you have a collective group, right? You have the funny guys, the quiet guys, the serious guys, and he just adds that to a room, and I think he's really helped that closeness of the team. It's a very close group. It's a young group, but it's very close, and I think he's part of that.
Toc, how far away do you think you guys are? Like, there's always discussions when they're, rebuilding and doing different things, retooling, and then you get to a point where it's like, okay, guys, it's time to go. Like, is there any timeline on that for you as the coach, or is it just, let's try to do this as soon as possible?
Well, I mean, when I was talking to Danny and Jonesy, about the job, they really stress that, hey, this is. We're getting close to the end of a rebuild. We want to start stacking some things together, right? We don't want to always be sellers at the trade deadline. I'm not sure this year they expected, to be where we're at. So I don't think things are going to change. I think they're still, want to progress in the same manner. Sometimes the coaches, we get antsy. We're like, hey, man, can we go get this? Can we get that? But I also understand why he took the job and the task at hand and the plan. So, I bought into it, and I'm all in. And I think I got to be judged on, obviously you get judged on wins and losses, don't get me wrong, but can you get guys to play better? Can you develop guys at the NHL level? Things like that. And I think that's something that, I've been trying to do this year, try to put the culture in. I mean, I know it's the most overused word in sports. I hate to keep using it, but it is true. Like, we're trying to build something with the crest. I'm a crest guy, and I believe in culture, and it's not just an individual game; it's a team game. So that's what we're trying to stress here, and that's part of the plan.
You just mentioned something I found interesting because for as long as I was around the National Hockey League, the quote in the term, "This is not a developmental league." And you just said developing guys at the NHL. How is that kind of new in the league, and how do you do that?
Yeah, well, it's a young league now. Well, I mean, listen, I don't you get the people that say to you, "Hey, play the young guys and let them make their mistakes and play." Well, I mean, I get it to a point. And you're trying to develop a guy, putting just some guys out in pressure situations to see if they can handle it. I understand that, but the type of mistakes you can't accept are the carelessness, the not work ethic and stuff like that. So you're developing the player to be an everyday NHL player. We have some guys that are every day are trying to be an NHL player, so I got to try to put them in the right positions. But there's also got to be internal competition and all that sort of stuff. So. Yeah, I think the development, it really isn't a development league, but it is developing a player at this level. Let's take a guy like Gabranka, like he's trying to be an everyday NHL player, and we've been trying to, all year, try to develop into that. And he's way ahead of he was 2 months ago, so he is developing into an NHL player. So I'm just using him as an example.
With Rick Tocchet, so you're going to be a part of the staff for Canada at the Olympic Games, and prior to us getting to that, I want to ask you about how you're navigating the schedule. We talk about it constantly on this show, and that Olympic break in particular. Like everyone's got, I think, around 14, 15 more games before you hit that break. And it's a 2.5, 3 week reset, and then it'll be like 22, 23 game race to the finish line. Are you breaking your season up as pre-break, post-break? How are you handling the break in terms of goal-oriented, putting stuff on the board in terms of what you're chasing, what you want your team to be thinking? How are you kind of navigating the schedule and the Olympic break in particular?
Yeah, first of all, more the science part of it. So we got it's a little bit of a sprint here before the Olympics. So I got to get these guys. How many practices can I have? How many days off? Like, you probably have to give more days off to the guys because of the schedule, and the travel and 4 and 6 nights. So I'm more attuned to that, making sure, I get the energy level of players. Don't really look too far ahead. Like, we don't, some coaches, I think down the road you start like, hey, can we, you almost play the 7-game series. Can we win 4 or 5 games in the next 7 games? I mean, you could do those tricks in March and April. But I think now for me is the energy level and trying to get the guys for these next 13, 14 games where we're at our optimal best energy-wise, and then we got that break, right? And that's another thing. You can win or lose those 2 weeks as a coach. How do you? It's like a mini training camp, but how do you get the guys prepared for that stretch drive? That's another thing that we're going to have to dive into. We haven't dove into it yet, but the next week or two we're going to have to divide. Because I'll be gone. So, put a schedule together. It's going to be huge. I'm a big believer in coaching can really help that in those breaks. Look, you take a guy like Andy Reid. He's the best coach in the NFL after a bye, right? So what does he do for those 2 weeks with his team to be the most successful coach? I think that's something we look into. Like, what's the best way for those 2 weeks to optimize the players, for the stretch drive?
Have your guys call the O-Dog on his old Cancun routine. Back in 98, 02, right on?
Talk. I used to tell these guys, I'd go to Cancun, and I didn't do anything. And I came back, and I felt amazing. I felt the best I've ever felt. I felt refreshed, and obviously you got to get a couple workouts in when you get back. But with the whole time, 10 days Cancun, nothing. I'd never felt better when I came back.
You have to have a lot of talent to be able to do that. I could listen. I used to have my fun, but I could never do that. The way I skated, man, if I took 10 days off, oh my God, I'd be out. I'd be out of the league. But the guys nowadays, it's a guy like Sidney Crosby. I don't know if he still does it. Well, obviously he's going to Olympics, but when he has a break of the All-Star games, well, he's always in it. But when he gets breaks, he always wants to stay in cold weather. He finds it's better for him when he comes back. He never liked going to the beach and stuff like that. So it's amazing how guys are different, the way they approach, those days off or those breaks.
That's cool. Yeah, with Rick Tocchet. Go ahead, Jonas.
Rick, I was wondering for Canadians who haven't seen much of Travis Sanheim, what you would tell them to expect at the Olympics.
Yeah, I think the same thing in the Four Nations. He didn't play the first game. Then he was put in the lineup, and he really defended well. Like he did a really nice job of playing a 200-foot game. He played the right side and the left side when we needed him. Very versatile. Can really skate. Long reach. He could skate all day. I mean, for a while there at the beginning of the year, we were playing like 26, 27 minutes a night. He was handling those minutes. We backed off lately because we've got, our D's been pretty healthy other than Drysdale going down the other night. But he's been one of those guys that just plays a 200-foot game that can skate all day.
Yeah, it's interesting, like all these, decisions that had to be made, and, some guys made it from Four Nations, some guys didn't, and you're in a unique situation because Sanheim's back on the team, but Konechny is not. Did you have to navigate that at all, Rick? Like, what kind of conversation did you have with Travis Konechny on that?
Yeah, it's one of the greatest processes I've ever been involved with. You're on in meetings, live meetings, or Zoom call meetings with the six general managers. Great minds. Obviously Coop and then Pete DeBoer and that staff and Butch and Bruce Cassidy. So what happens is you go through a list and then you bring up a name and and it's hard because how do you rip a star player? Like, well, you want this guy over this guy. You're trying to like fight, not so much fight for a guy, have your opinion. Hey, I like this guy better than the other guy. And they're both great players, so it's hard to really kind of rip a player. But you also have the opinion that, hey, I would have this guy because of this reason. And Doug Armstrong was great. I mean, he listened to everybody, and everybody had a voice. And then at the end of the day, Coop and Doug picked the team. So it was a great process for me to be involved in that. It was about 3 or 4 of those meetings. It was kind of fun, actually, to hear how people talked about other players, even about my players. So, yeah, it was a very good. It was a great learning lesson for me.
Talk, I just came back from the World Juniors and talking with people there, like in years past it was, McDavid and how eye-popping that was, or McKinnon or McCarr. And I got to be honest, this year everybody talked about the ability to see Schaefer live. And they said it's just incredible the way that this guy skates. I know he's not going to the Olympics as of right now, but can you put eyes on this guy? Like, what are we talking about here with Matthew Schaefer, the Islanders?
Unbelievable. One of my favorite. We played him twice. This was about a month ago, in about I think a week or 10-day span, and really impressed. The swagger for an 18-year-old, the way he controls play. I was really impressed. This guy's the real deal. He was just, there's serious consideration to put him on the team. He was in the mix, which is amazing for an 18-year-old. It's a hell of a pick for the Oilers. It's really has changed the Oilers a little bit. The Oilers were a good team going before they had him, and they're even a better team with them. So, yeah, I mean, what a pick that was. Yeah,
no kidding, man. He's fun to watch. 18 years old, and also said, what did you say about the Flyers? Best team in the gym in Minnesota? Was that what you said last hour?
Matt Briere was in the gym. Keith Jones was in the gym, and Patrick Sharp. They were all busting their ass. Jonesy was leading the way. I know you know that is something that he really prides himself on, Talk.
Well, you guys know the story of Jonesy, don't you? The 6-game overtime when we played Pittsburgh back in the day, 2001, I think it was. Well, I think it was the 6th overtime intermission, and guys were, I think John LeClaire was getting an IV. We're all getting IVs. Well, old Jonesy had his shirt off, and he came in and had a big pizza in his mouth, and he had pizza sauce all over his belly and his mouth, and he goes to the guys, well, boys, I've been hibernating like a bear all game. This is when I shine. And he started patting his belly. And Keith Primo went out the next period and scored a goal. So he takes a lot of credit for that.
As he should. He should. Yeah, well, I guess he wasn't just a cheerleader in the gym, right? Oh, he was grinding, like you said, man.
Exactly.
So there you go. Well, it's great catching up with you, Rick, as always. We appreciate it. We look forward to seeing the game tomorrow night. Good luck against the Leafs, and we'll do it again down the road.
Okay, guys. Yeah, anytime. Thanks, man.
You got it. There he is, Rick Tocchet, joining us here on the Maple Toyota Hotline. So good to have him on, man. He's such a fun interview. That's a great story.
Great interview.
Yeah, great story. Like overtimes, 5-6 overtimes deep. Keith Jones comes in because you got to get pizza, right? That famous clip of Louis Domingue, remember, where they had to get Chinese in New York because I guess they couldn't find pizza or whatever when it was Penguins Rangers and triple OT or whatever. Spicy pork and broccoli?
Not the best.
Not the best. Not the best.
I think Ronnie Francis told me some of their long overtimes games against the Capitals. They had a Capitals-Penguins overtime game that went a long time, and there was pizzas. They had to get pizzas. Like you're starving, man.
Oh, you would be, right? You've played 2 games. You probably ate at 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah.
It's like midnight.
Yeah, you're starving.
Yeah, you'd be hungry. It's a great little comment, too, about Sid. Like, how nuts is Sidney Crosby staying in cold weather during a break because it's better for his body? Like, that's a Canadian, man. That's a legend. Get him on, like, the $10 bill or something. $100 bill.
Do not agree on that one.
No, I totally I would think that's 1-1. I can't imagine anyone else in the league looks at it the same way.
Yeah, Sid, where are you going? Nowhere.
I'm going to North Dakota. Yeah, I'm going to be in Minnesota. Or I'm going up to Winnipeg. I'm going to stay cold.
Yeah,
because it helps me and it makes me feel better about my body and my game. That's
reminds
commitment.
me of Tavares, and I remember some of the players on the Leafs telling me that he would keep his window open on the plane, like even on overnight flights, because he wanted to keep his circadian rhythm in line. And I was like, oh my God.
Yeah. That's
can
too
you
much,
imagine
man.
like you're on the plane and like there's one window open? You're just like,
yeah, John, come on.
Come on.
Like the rest of us aren't playing those games. But if you're Tavares, if you're Crosby,
you take everything you can.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially later in your career, you got to get every edge you can. Like Sid's on pace for 90-plus points again. The guy's unbelievable. Like we were looking at
90-plus points.
Yes. Like he is an absolute machine. Again, I saw him live. I was down there on the 23rd. He didn't have a great game, but he still looks like an engine.
How long do you think he'll play?
We've had this chat a bunch. I am adamant.
There's been rumblings that this guy might
I think it's Tom Brady, like personally.
45?
Go ahead. What are the rumblings that you're hearing that he's going to pull the shoots?
I think it might have been you. That's like it wouldn't shock me if this guy's playing at 42 years old. I just don't see it.
Yeah. Well, again, he's 38 right now, and he's still one of the 10 or 15 best players in the game.
How old was Chelios when he 46?
He was playing I played against Chelly when he was 45 years old, playing D for the Detroit Red Wings.
Now he was a very different player.
Of course,
obviously,
dude, and he was still very good.
Right. Yeah. Chelios, man, what a career he had!
Yeah, unbelievable.
Like what
a player!
Career. What a player!
You want to talk about a guy that was like, obviously he had the competitiveness in the battle, but he would just sniff out certain things where it was like you try, like he would sniff out sight. He was just such a smart defenseman, and that's why he hung around so long.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was a very smart player.
Montreal, Chicago, Detroit. That's a great career.
Didn't he also play in Atlanta?
Yeah, he did. At the end of his career, I think that's when he played, when he was 48 or whatever. Like he hadn't been playing for a while, and they brought him back. But, Sid's still doing it. Sid's going to be a big part of the Olympic Games. Rick Tocchet will be as well. All right, best bets coming up later in the hour, and Jerry's percentages coming up next.
Super Bowl 60, Sunday, February 8th on TSN and CTV.
Saturday on TSN 1050. It's the NFL Super Wild Card Weekend. The LA Rams take on the Carolina Panthers. Plus the nightcap between the Green Bay Packers and the Chicago Bears. Coverage starts at 4 p.m. Hear it all on TSN 1050. The NFL lives here. Now, back to OverDrive with Hayes, Noodles, and the O-Dog.
You're going to want to hear this.
Jerry's percentages.
I don't love being commissioner as much as I used to. I actually love it even more.
That's the voice of a Hall of Famer.
Are you kidding? Have you been out drinking?
You're all pigeons. Filthy, filthy pigeons.
It's Jerry. Gerry.
All right, Jerry's percentages. We're into the new year. We haven't heard from Jerry yet in 2026. I'm sure he's very excited, right? The NHL, it's in a pretty good place, would you say, Jonas? Going to the Olympics. We don't know if the ice will be ready. Don't know what that's going to look like.
I just saw Colorado's goal differential this year. Guess what it is?
Plus 60.
Plus 70.
Wow.
I was like, what the?
Yeah. And they've lost a couple of games.
They've lost 4 times in regulation.
Right.
And it's like 2 in like the last little bit.
Tampa and Florida, I think they've lost the last 2 games.
Stupid.
Yeah. Crazy. Crazy how good they are and how red hot they've been.
Tough to beat them 4 times, man.
Yeah.
That's all I think about. It's like you watch them play, and it's like, man, you get those guys, you got to beat them 4 times. I will say this, though. I thought the same thing last year, and Dallas did it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If I gave you them or the Field to win the Cup.
Field?
Yeah.
Field.
Well, you wonder about their goaltending, too. Like, do they have Stanley Cup winning goaltending?
Mm-hmm. Scotty Wedgwood going to win 16 games, like him and Blackwood. I don't know. They played really well. Like, to their credit, they've been outstanding.
If you watch that series last year, it was an issue against Dallas. Like, there was some weird ones going in. You can't have it, man. You can't win.
Big time. And, like, whoever gets the wild card in the West, San Jose, Anaheim, Utah, whatever, they're going to likely just get destroyed.
Yes.
But then they're playing Dallas or Minnesota. There is no guarantee they're beating that team. Right?
Yeah.
Like, that's going to be the second round. And it's crazy, but Dallas and Minnesota are going to play each other in the first round. One of them is gone in 10 days, and they're likely going to be the second and third place overall teams.
Yeah.
It's disjointed.
Who likes this system? Who likes it?
But what,
Jerry.
I don't know.
Jerry does, to answer your question.
Yeah, I guess that's...
But do you do 1 through 16? Do you abolish the conferences? Do you do 1v8? 1v8 would help in this case.
16 would be too brutal on travel, man.
Yeah, I know. That's the problem. It's like perfect world stuff. I do think that would be really cool. But if you went conference, it would be obviously this would eradicate the issue, but they'd still play each other in the second round.
Okay.
Like you'd still have a scenario where Dallas and Minnesota, if they get through the first round, would meet each other in the second round as the second and third teams overall.
Fair.
But it would be Edmonton right now in the first round, which would be pretty cool as a 4 or 5 seed. Because neither team playing great. Edmonton won last night. Vegas won last night.
Vegas has struggled. Dallas has lost, I think, 5 or 6 in a row.
Yeah, it's a weird year. All right, Jerry's waiting. I'm sure he's getting very disappointed. Let's hear from Jerry.
Jerry never wanted 2025 to end because he was loving all of the Canadian heartbreak. But lucky for Jerry, it'll continue in 2026. Because only 3 Canadian teams will make the playoffs.
Ooh, so he's got 3. That means he's got Edmonton and Montreal and a third that will make it. That's interesting. Is that Toronto? Is that Ottawa?
Dude, I'm 30% on this. I told you and Brucey Boudreau and Noodles and whoever else would listen, it might only be a 2-pack this year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you were right. Brucey addressed that while you were in Minnesota, too.
Brucey said 5-pack.
Yeah, I know. He has come off that cliff.
He's had to have come off that.
Yeah, it's impossible. There's no way 5 are making it. Winnipeg's not making it. Calgary, I don't think is going to make it. Vancouver's not making it. Like, Winnipeg and Vancouver are not making it. I don't think Calgary's making it. And Toronto and Ottawa are not making it. One of them is missing. Maybe both. I think Edmonton's getting in. I do think Montreal is going to get in, although, Montreal's only 4 points into the playoffs. It's not like Montreal's a lock. Jonas, 3 Canadian teams make it.
20% for me.
Wow, you're dropping. You were 30%. Now he's 20%.
24%. Because I just need...
Stupid. That's a...
It's not bad, though.
That's a Price
is right.
Why
You're one-upping them.
Noodles does it all the time. Why isn't it just 20%? How did you come up with 24?
Because I'm a little bit higher.
Yeah, you're more optimistic. You're a better Canadian.
A little bit.
You're more of a Canadian.
You said Ottawa. I just need 2 of Montreal, Ottawa, Toronto. I think that's doable.
Mm-hmm.
Toronto seems to be turning it around.
What's your mini Jerry's on the fly here that the Leafs make the playoffs?
That's a great question. 40%? 40-something percent? 40?
40?
What do you guys say?
Okay.
I'll go 44.
Nice. That's a great call.
Honestly, I'll split it right down the middle. I think they got a 50% chance of making it, and it's going to be they got to have guys play real well. They also have, their schedule is going to be
brutal,
really difficult, man.
And it's kind of misleading when you see, they're only so many points out, but the other teams still get points.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, they're only, but there's all these teams, and they're all still going to get points. They kind of have to go on a heater the whole year.
Yeah, the rest of the way now. Like, you got 40 games. You got to win 25 of those for sure.
Which is a great record.
Like, for sure, you got to win 25.
Yeah.
Right, which would be, 50 more points. Do you think 90? Probably 97. The way the East is working, you probably need 97, 98 to get in.
Right.
So they probably need 50 more points. I mean, the goalposts have moved so much with this team through 42 games, where 20 games in, it felt like 5% they were going to make it, 10%. Now you're on a heater, so you're more in the moment. I will say this about the schedule. Teams are playing so much that this year's different because you're never going to catch a team where it's like, man, they've been off for 4 days and they're waiting for you. And there's so much parity in the league outside of those three teams in the Central. On any given night, the Leafs can beat anybody. And if you're a good team, the schedule shouldn't scare you, right? You should scare the schedule in a way. Whoever you're playing should be like, oh, the Leafs are here and they're on a heater and they're playing really well. So 45%. I'm going to price is right this one. I'm almost
you went
at
through
50
that whole diatribe to
say
45%.
Wow, they are. Listen, they're still on the outside looking in. You think Florida gets in?
Yes.
Okay, so if Florida's in, then that's at least one of the wild card spots. Like, the thing is, I look at it. Philly, we just talked to Rick Tocchet. They've been really good. Can they hold on for 41 more games? I'm not sure they can. Can Pittsburgh continue to do this? I'm not sure they can. Will the Islanders get that kind of goaltending and
Detroit.
clutch? Detroit's been real. Their defense is good in Detroit. They've been clutch, but they got a really tough sked too. Everything's working for them. Their goaltending still scares me.
Dude, that Islanders team, what a turnaround. What a great situation for Matthew Darche going in there. Just kind of a bit of a different spin on things. You get Schaefer.
Mm-hmm.
You get the kid you got from Colorado in the Nelson deal. Richie.
Yep.
It's
Cal Ritchie.
Yeah, things are
and
looking up, man.
Sorokin's good.
Yes.
And Patrick Roy's a good coach. He's a fiery guy. He's got them believing right now, and he's got their back. And
they lost Noah Dobson too.
Mm-hmm.
It's an incredible. If they could ever, I don't know, maybe add something or another. I don't know, but they could be dangerous if that goaltender can keep it up.
Yeah, he's really good. He's really, really good. All right, Jerry, what else do we have?
The Buffalo Bills will make the Super Bowl.
Ooh, short and sweet. A 6 seed. They're in Jacksonville. Tough road to the Super Bowl. Probably Jacksonville, Denver.
Dude, I'm going to say 85%, because if they don't do it this year, when the hell are they going to do it, man? When the hell are they going to do it?
Valid.
No Baltimore, no Joe Burrow,
no Kansas City, which is
no
their kryptonite.
Mahomes.
Yep.
If you're not doing it this year, you'll never do it.
Mm-hmm.
Is it make the Super Bowl or win the Super Bowl?
Just get there.
Jerry say?
Just get there. They got to win 3 games. Can they win 3 in a row to get there?
What percent did you give? 88, 7, 85? 70?
88? No, just 80.
I'm definitely not that high. 41%.
Wow.
I was going to ask you guys, has a team ever won/made the Super Bowl with a wide receiver room like they have?
Dude, you got to give your explanation for your 41%. It's like the quiz. You have to explain
That's
yourself.
related. That's my question.
Because you don't trust the weapons.
It just puts so much pressure on Josh Allen.
Yeah. Possibly the Brady Pats did not have a superstar.
Well, I mean,
the
besides
first,
Moss. But
but Moss didn't win, though.
Amendola.
Moss didn't win. No, I know. Those guys were really good.
Welker
they had
really
Gronk, which was significant.
That's significant.
Gronk was a game changer. He's one of the great playoff performers of all time.
Mm-hmm.
But it's asking a lot. I'm going to say 60%. I still think, a lot of people I think are overthinking this with Jacksonville. They've been really good. They've won 8 in a row. Trevor Lawrence has been good.
Dude,
Cohen
they might be my new team, man.
But here's the thing. Okay, this is where, again, I think sometimes you overthink it. Experience matters. Josh Allen in this situation. I know the Bills haven't been great, but I can make an argument for them looking at the regular season like a formality too. You just got to get in, reset. They got to find a way to defend, which is not great, but they have a top 10 offense. They have a run game. They have Josh Allen. They have a coach. I know not everyone loves McDermott, but he has been through the ringer. Liam Cohen is not. I think the Bills are going to win this weekend. And I think if they do, then you're talking Denver, maybe New England, young quarterbacks, teams, again, not with a ton of playoff experience. I still think they can win a Super Bowl this year.
Well, there's no team who's like the favorite.
Yeah, exactly. So up 65% they make the Super Bowl. They're still my pick.
Make the Super Bowl.
Still my pick.
Who do you think their toughest competition is? New England?
I don't know. I mean, going to Denver's that's a tough game. If it is Denver, presuming that they're the 6th seed, they get through, they go to Denver. Denver's coming off a bye.
Are you considering Denver like a
Yeah.
Super Bowl kind of contender?
They're the number 1 seed in the AFC.
I know.
They got home field and they got a bye in the first week. That's hugely advantageous.
Dude, think about
their defense
where they
is
are.
stacked, man.
After getting rid of Russ, that turnaround.
I know.
Coach and a young QB that can sling it.
That's it. It's a game changer, man. You get the right coach, it's huge in the NFL.
Who was that coach they had in there? Hackett?
Yeah, they had Hackett, Nathaniel Hackett. Lasted 1 year and they fired him, and it was a disaster. And Sean Payton became available, and they went out and paid him and got him. And
That's what you got to do, man. Like, there's teams around that are trying to put the pieces together with Harbaugh out there now, and they're like, which coach is the best fit? It's the best one, and that's probably Harbaugh.
Exactly. Like, if you're any of the teams, and you're not
Giants,
calling Harbaugh.
anybody, Harbaugh.
Yes.
Harbaugh, Jets, Harbaugh.
Absolutely. Vegas, Miami, who they still haven't fired their coach. I don't care who it is. Harbaugh is your guy.
Yeah.
That's the guy. Don't overthink it and go, we're going to get the next whiz kid offensive coordinator. No. Harbaugh.
I think I read something from ESPN today where they said that Harbaugh's agent had heard from 7 teams, and I think there's 6 openings, not including the
6
Ravens,
vacancies.
which means one team who has a coach.
I think it's Miami. I think it's got to be Miami.
Mikey D?
Yeah, I think Mikey's got to be thinking I could be in trouble here.
Yeah, I'd
could
fire
be in
my
trouble.
coach for Harbaugh.
Well, that's legit. Like, I think there's a chance one of the teams that loses this weekend could possibly call up Harbaugh.
Pitt?
Yeah, I don't think he's going from Baltimore to Pittsburgh. There's too much history between the two. They've been in the division for 18 years. Tomlin, I don't think they're going to fire Tomlin.
Billy?
No. Sirianni just won a Super Bowl.
No, but he's not.
McDermott?
Yeah.
That's where it's interesting. If the Bills lose to Jacksonville, do they call up John Harbaugh and say, come on up?
Yeah.
I don't know if they'll do it because Brandon Bean and McDermott are tied to the hip.
If they lose to Jacksonville, they're doing that. They're not. He's not coming back if they lose to Jacksonville.
Buffalo's a different market, different town.
Dude, no,
I don't know.
You're making that. That's a stupid comment. If they
McDermott's had a lot of success there.
I get it, but it's time where they gotta just talk to Carlo, and I know Carlo, who is the voice of reason for youth hockey and the Buffalo Bills and the Leafs.
Yes, he is.
He's sick of McDermott.
Well, I get it. It's like Steeler fans. They're sick of Tomlin. Okay, what if the next guy yes, if it's Harbaugh, you probably feel pretty good about that. If it's not, watch what you wish for. You know, the guy who's been like Harbaugh's been there for 18 years in Baltimore. I know the Ravens feel good, and Ravens fans probably feel good. You still got Lamar, you got some talent. You better get the next guy that works. Harbaugh's been to 2 Super Bowls. He's won one. They go to the playoffs basically every year, winning records all the time. I think that's a very, very good position to be. If you're a prospective coach, you're like, go give me Lamar Jackson. Like, you're dying to get to Baltimore. But that's a tough act to follow. Not easy to follow a guy like John Harbaugh. All right, Jerry, one more. What do you have?
Austin Matthews will score 50 goals this season.
He's on a heater all of a sudden. It's funny how things change, man. Now 50? He's on pace for what? Low 40s? 44.
But he is 21, I believe, right now.
Mm-hmm. 40 games left.
That's a lot of goals.
40 games left.
I'm going to say 35%. As good as the guy is, like that would be like to
That's old school Matthews numbers, though.
I get it, but that's like playing 15 games and then an Olympic break and then coming back and continue to torch the. I'm going to say 35% as good as he's playing right now.
Okay.
He's in tough.
I think he's right.
Yeah.
I will go lower, 20%. Like maybe it's like 45.
Well, that seems reasonable. If he's going to keep playing like this, he's going to.
But that's the
40.
thing. Like, can he do it for like a month and 2 months?
I hear you, and that's a big topic of discussion.
Olympics, he's going to the Olympics. Like,
yeah, of course.
And then he comes back, and the schedule just like.
Yeah. Well, and again, it's because we worry about the body and what we've seen the last year and a half. Like, no one's applying that logic to McDavid or McKinnon. They're like, they're just going to keep going. Kucherov will keep going. He's not going to the Olympics. But again, if Matthews is back, and we can't know this. You can't look into the future and say I definitively know it. But 2 years ago, if I told you he's going to score 28 goals in 40 games, you'd say, absolutely. Of course. Right? 3 years ago, you'd say, yeah, I expect him to do that. So if he's back, it's 100%.
Oh,
if he's back.
You're galaxy branding it.
If he's back. And I can't sit here and definitively say that he is.
I love that.
So I'll
I
say
love
50%.
the Stones.
But that's
I
the
love
truth.
The Stones.
If this is who he is and this is what he's going to do the rest of the way, he's hitting 50. Because he's the best goal scorer in the world again. And he took his foot off the gas for about 100 games, which is a lot.
I don't think 100 games is taking that's more than taking your foot off the gas.
That's a lot. There were trips to Germany and there was some weird stuff. The last 5 or 6 games, he looks like the 22-23 Matthews, the 23-24 Matthews. That guy can rip home
a lot.
He
once
goals.
had in that year 57 and 61, which I totally forgot.
Yeah.
Like, that's nuts.
Insane.
I mean, 69 and 80. I don't even think he played 82
I think he played
games.
80 or 81.
Yeah.
Dude, and do you know, this is not, like, I'm not trying to stir things up. Do you know how many empty net situations Sheldon Keefe didn't put him out for when he was right around 70?
Right.
I don't know if there's any way of digging that up, but I couldn't believe he wasn't out there more. Bunch of empty net scenarios. He did not go on the ice, and I'm like, I cannot believe I'm watching this.
I know. He could have had it. Could have had it.
A bunch. Is there any way of finding that out,
I
Jonas?
can find
how
that
many?
out, actually, yeah.
Go ahead.
Jonas. Chat.
GP Jonas.
Jonas. Like, I love when O needs. What's the weather like tomorrow, Jonas? What's the flight? How long is it a flight from Toronto to Rome?
Yeah. Where are my underwear?
How do I get some Diet Coke?
Jonas, where are my underwear? Where's my underwear?
Yeah.
Hey, Jonas.
Where are my underpants? Are they over Lake Superior?
Right. Which side of the border are his underwear on? Can the O-Dog get some Diet Coke? Oh, sorry. Hey, Jonas, can the O-Dog get some Diet Coke for the people in Minnesota? I love this. That's a new bit, man.
So
hey, Jonas. Just rifle stuff at you.
I'm going to find this out right now.
You're his personal assistant for information. Look something up for me, Jonas. How many empty net goals did Austin have a couple years ago?
No,
All right.
I don't want to know the goals he scored. I want to know the
yes.
opportunities that he was not out
That's
there
tough
on.
to find,
No,
man.
it's not. I
Oh.
found it.
Chat GP Jonas.
Right.
How many?
So that season, he played 81 games. He was 4th on the team in ice time against an empty net.
Must have been
So-
defensemen ahead of him.
Brody, McCabe, and Nylander by like 17 seconds.
So he still had a lot of opportunity.
So
Okay. TJ Brody reference. We haven't had one of those in a
Crazy, eh?
long time.
isn't it crazy like how like quick it can go? Like he was so
The
important,
mainstay for
and then
5 years.
and then just like out of the league.
Just gone.
Yeah.
Not even a reference. All right, Best Bets powered by FanDuel. We'll get to that next.
It's coming. Super Bowl 60 on TSN and CTV.
He sets a temperature of everything he wants to do.
The biggest sports spectacular live in Santa Clara, California. With the Apple Music Super Bowl halftime show featuring Bad Bunny.
For the touchdown.
You ready?
And it's caught.
Super Bowl 60.
That was insane.
Sunday, February 8th on TSN and CTV. Home of Super Bowl 60.
Now, back to Overdrive with Hayes, Noodles, and the O-Dog.
All right, Best Bets powered by FanDuel. Make your picks and assemble a same-game parlay in seconds on the FanDuel Sportsbook app. Dallas, Washington tonight. I'm going to be on the Stars. Haven't been playing great, like you pointed out, but they're a really good team, and you're paying, it's basically a pick 'em. I know it's on the road, but you get short odds with a team like Dallas, I'm taking it. And Montreal, Calgary tonight. Big game, too. I'm looking forward to that. I think I'm on the Habs. But Calgary's been sneaky, man. They're back in the hunt. Nashville's in the hunt in the West.
They could win some games, Calgary.
Yeah.
Oh, and Jeff, you were right. 2 empty net goals for Matthews when he scored 69.
Oh, man.
That's nuts.
That's the difference right there.
Dude,
One
I'm
more
telling
empty
you, I
netter,
remember
70.
watching. I'm like, I can't believe this guy. Like, or he would be out there for 20 seconds and get taken off. I'm like, that guy should be told to stay out there as long. Who cares?
Yeah. Do the Ovechkin thing, man. Ovi is out there, and he's not coming off, and he's shooting every puck at that net.
Yeah.
Every single time. Best Bets powered by FanDuel. Same-game parlays around the NHL available on the FanDuel Sportsbook app. Please play responsibly, 18+, physically located in Ontario. All right, we got NFL picks coming up later in the week, right? We've got this really cool giveaway that starts on Monday, going to the players. We're sending a correspondent to the players. Sucks that they're not in Kapalua starting tomorrow, man. I can't believe the PGA Tour is not playing tomorrow. Dying to get back to Kapalua. But next week they'll be in Hawaii. It's all good. All right, Jonas, great stuff.
Thanks, fellas.
Thanks for doing this. The O-Dog, great stuff as always. Thanks to everyone behind the scenes for helping out. We appreciate it. Everyone for tuning in today. TV, radio, podcast, web, and up on YouTube Live. Every show up on TSN's YouTube channel. We're out of here. Enjoy your evenings. Enjoy the games tonight. We're back tomorrow at
Air Canada. Let's get those underwear home safe. 4 p.m.
We'll chat then.